drink. Open the drink. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Grab him if you got him! Let's fucking go!
How would this benefit the Cowboys if they had Zeke? Because last year, man, when we wasn't punching the ball in the end zone, everybody was super frustrated.
I got to remind you of some things, and I want you guys to keep this same energy, because I'm going to remind you of what the Cowboys organization has done for the last 30 years. Because
one morning, he had a rule that I had to make my bed before I go to the bathroom. Right? Before, that's the first thing you do in the morning. You go to the bathroom, you come back, you make your bed, and then my bed had to be made before I left to go to school, period. Okay? Uh-huh. But he made up some BS because I didn't make my bed before I went to the bathroom. We're not going. Wow. And I said to him, Dad, let's be honest. We weren't going anyway. And he was like, well, you never know. I'm like, no, I know.
You already knew.
I already knew. So I think it, for me, I'll if I have the means, I'm going to go to a sporting event. And yes, I want Nick to have those memories.
Grass or turf?
Turf.
Indoor or outdoor?
Indoor.
TV or movie?
Movie.
Baseball or basketball?
Basketball.
Beef or chicken?
Ooh, I'm about to eat both. Steak. So beef. I go beef.
This is gonna tell your age. Tecmo Bowl or Madden?
Oh man, I love Tecmo Bowl. I grew up on Tecmo Bowl, Bo Jackson, but Madden, man, because Madden's NCAA is about to drop, but Madden, man, I've been raised on Madden, so.
LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan, easily, man. So Jordan. So the name is Jordan Michael. So I'm named after Michael, born in '84. You know what I'm saying? There's no other GOAT when it comes to Michael, man. So
all right, this is a tough one as a Cowboy fan. Romo or Dak?
Dak.
How did you fall in love with the Cowboys, man, that made you become this Canadian Cowboys super fan? What happened, man, that made the Cowboys show up on your radar?
So I would say the NFL started getting really big in Canada probably NFL Network hey? Once NFL Network came out,
yep.
You got that exposure, like a lot of exposure. We finally got to see stuff about the draft, and you had a channel that you could literally tune into NFL football all the time. At the same time, Adam and I had both started playing fantasy football. I had watched football occasionally before that, but I would say for me, diehard, as a fan, my first year actually watching football and picking a team was the year that Bledsoe got replaced by Tony Romo. And
my first thing, dude, that caught me off guard because I text all my guests, hey man, give me where you were born, blah blah blah, and when it said Santa Ana, California, it threw me off. I say, man, I thought this man was born and raised in Texas.
I knew I threw you for a loop there. That's the first thing I told the wifey. I said, I threw him for a loop. And she's like, you told him? I said, I told him I was born in Cali.
How about the Cowboys?
All right. Welcome to Conversation with Chris. So, man, I got a very, very special guest. He is this Kansas City Chiefs super fan. He's almost Ady Reid. Coach, how you doing, baby?
Good. How you doing, baby?
Man, I'm doing awesome, Coach. I'm so excited about today's show with you, man. I was my wife asked me before she left for work. She said, babe, who you got on today with Conversation with Chris? I said, I got Coach. She say, Coach, the one we had barbecue with. I was like, I say, yeah. Hey, Coach, she still think you are the real Andy Reid because she went to work, man. She was telling people, hey, I met Andy Reid. I said, honey, I said, first of all, why would Andy Reid be hanging out with me and Sneaky G? That's number one. I say, but hey, if you think he is, he is. I say, so he's a great super fan when you get confused like that. Because I remember when we was eating barbecue, people were coming up to you and everything, and they really thought you were Andy Reid, and that's pretty awesome, though. Coach, I'm gonna give a brief introduction. Okay, I'm gonna run down some things, and then we're gonna get started in this interview. Okay,
let's go.
All right. Born Matthew Black, 11/11 in 1968, in Warren, Ohio. Parents of Dave and Kay.
Yeah.
You have a wife named Kelly, daughter named Rachel, son named Bradley. And you also have a degree in music. A degree in music. Coach, we're gonna get into all this, okay? I just wanted to give a quick rundown for all the folks that's gonna be watching and tuning in and everything. And we'll just get the rocking and rolling. How about that? Okay.
Sounds good, baby.
Now, Coach, I still call you Coach. I mean, we've been knowing each other a couple years. I can't help it. I'm just like, Matthew don't fit you. Matthew don't fit you. I just can't help it. I gotta call you Coach. Okay. Hey, do you mind or you don't mind?
It's all good, baby.
Okay. All right. So it's good. Now it says you were born in Warren, Ohio. Do you currently live in Kansas City though, right?
Yeah, I live in Lee Summit, Missouri.
Okay. All right. So when you were born in Ohio, did you grow up in Warren?
Yeah, I lived there for the first 8 years of my life.
Okay. First 8 years and did you guys leave Ohio after that or you just moved around in Ohio?
Yeah, we moved over to Western Pennsylvania for a little bit, and then about 82 we moved out to Missouri.
Okay. Was it due to work, parents working, or it was just a thing that just happens?
Yeah, it was. I think it was guided by the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs are in Kansas City, but no, I think it had something to do with mom and dad's work.
Mom and dad's work, yeah. That's how a lot of relocations happen. Just like we met in Dallas. Born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas, my whole life.
Yeah.
But I'm living in Denver now, right? So people like, man, why are you in Denver? I say, hey, man, the wife got a promotion. So when promotions happen, you move around. It's just how it is.
Right.
And man, living in Denver and listening to the other side, that's the arch rival for you guys is the Broncos, right?
Yeah, so, I'll be in Denver in 2 weeks.
Oh, will you? Okay, hey, we definitely got to hook up and get some lunch or something. Okay,
yeah.
So it's funny, man. Whenever I hear about Denver football and everything, and they always say, well, we got to beat the Chiefs. I said, well, it's going to be a long time before y'all beat the Chiefs. I said, good luck with that.
Yeah. They play in M-Power Stadium there. Mm-hmm. And I think they should really change the EM to an M because we all know with M powers that stadium.
Exactly.
Mahomes.
Exactly, Coach. So I want to get into some things. Okay. So let's talk about the parents, Dave and Kay. Okay. Growing up, man, how was your life growing up, man? Was it?
It was great, man. I had the type of parents that we had a dinner bell on the outside of the house, and man, when we weren't eating, we were out in the fields playing, out in the woods, building forts, just everything that kids used to do back then.
Right. Hey, because I see you were born in 1968, so we're only a year apart. So I always tell people, when they tease me about the Cowboys last time they won Super Bowls and all that crap, I said, well, I was alive when they won all 5. So, hey, I'm old. I said, I'm proud of it. I was born April 69. Okay. So we're only a few months apart, Coach.
There you go.
So-
I grew up a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Wait a minute, Coach. We're gonna get all right. We're gonna stay on the parents right now, and then we're gonna get back to that.
Okay.
Don't drop nuggets too early, Coach. don't drop nuggets too early. So let's talk about Dad. What did Dad do for a living?
Dad, he was a pastor of a church, and then he also worked for a company there. He sold mufflers all around in his region.
Okay, so he was a muffler. So did Mom work, or was she a stay-home mom?
Well, Mom worked. She had a beautician license, and so Dad built a little place at our house, and so our house always smelled like permanents growing up, and always knew when the blue hairs were coming in, because boy, the house was going to stink.
So Mom was a hairdresser. Now, was your job to sweep up after her and everything? Did you have that job?
No, I don't think she never wanted the kids too close to where her money was coming from.
So do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I've got 2 brothers and a sister. She passed away 20 some years ago. So yeah.
Okay. So are your brothers big Chiefs fans also?
No, my older brother is a Cleveland Browns diehard fan. And then my younger brother is the true enemy of the house because he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Really? Coach, we got so much in common. I'm going to tell you why. My son is a Commander fan.
Uh-huh.
My biological brother is a 49er fan.
Wow.
My nephew is a Raider fan. And my best friend is a Steeler fan.
Wow.
So, hey, Coach, I feel your pain. I feel it. Okay. So when I was staying back in Dallas, I had a man cave. So I was the only Cowboy fan in my own man cave. Okay, everybody else was fans of other teams like that. So a brother a Cleveland fan, and the other brother is a Steeler fan. Now, when you became a super fan of the Chiefs, and I say super fan, and the reason I say that because you have a tremendous following on TikTok. I believe you got over almost 600,000 followers, almost. Yeah. Hey, that's pretty great. So did they approve, disapprove, or did they give you ribbons about you being a super fan of the Chiefs?
They didn't take me too seriously until my brother texted me one time and he says, "Hey, you're about to hit 1 million views on one of these videos you did." And that's when they started saying, "Hey, okay, how can we use my brother to get some tickets to the Chiefs game?"
Hey, it's always about that. They said, let me call Matt and see if he can get us in the game for free. Yeah. I probably back in the day, those Chiefs tickets was pretty reasonable, but not anymore. Oh, my man, he said he thought you were. Hey, he is. Hey, I tell people all the time. I say, look, when me and Matt met, my wife thought he was. So yeah. Hey, now we're gonna get into that a little later on about how you became almost Andy. Okay. We're gonna get into that later, but we want to get to know you first. Okay. So you married to Kelly. How long you and Kelly been married?
We just celebrated 25 years.
All right. 25 years, man. Yeah. Hey, me and my wife is 25 in October, Coach. I tell you, we got so much in common, okay?
Wow.
25 years, okay? So now where did you guys meet?
We met at a church reunion up in Montana.
A church reunion, okay.
Yeah.
So now, meeting a girl at church, I'm trying to figure out, Coach, how was your opening line? What was the opening line when you meet a girl at church?
I'm just a natural draw, you know. I'm a man of few words outside of Chiefs Kingdom, but
Right.
yeah, no, she caught my attention pretty quickly the first time I saw her, and I thought to myself, I wonder if there's some potential there, and of course, turned out there was.
Wow. Okay. So you guys have 2 children. Okay. You have your daughter's Rachel. Your son is Bradley. How old are your kids?
One's 19, one's 17, going to be a senior in school. That's Brady, by the way. I know that's.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Now, do the kids? I asked Jamie this, Philly sports guy. I said, Jamie, how does the kids react to you being a super fan? Okay. Yeah. He said, man, Chris, they're teenagers. They don't want to be bothered at all just because they're teenagers. Are your kids the same way?
Yeah, they don't voluntarily tell people about it right off the bat. In fact, they've been going to school for a long time, and it wasn't really until this last year of their school that people started to figure out, hey, your dad, yeah, he's that Ady Reid guy.
So the kids just figured it out. Now you've been doing almost Andy as soon as Coach got there, the real Ady Reid got to Kansas City, correct?
Well, since 2018, that's when I kind of started messing around with it.
Okay, so when you started messing around, what did you do first? Did you grow the mustache first, or what did you do?
No, I've always had a big goatee, and my wife had gotten us some tickets to a Halloween ball, to kind of a fancy schwancy ball there, and I was like, I'm not going to pay for a Halloween costume. I've been a Chiefs fan for the last 30 years, and I thought I'm just going to go as a Chiefs fan. So I shaved the goatee off for some reason, and I looked in the mirror, and I saw with the mustache that I had left, I was like, I think I could pull off an Ady Reid. And so I had an old headset down in my basement, and I went out and bought a cheap shirt off the rack that looked similar to this. It was on sale, and I thought, yeah, okay, I'll spend that, and went to the party. I had a little clipboard and a pen, and all of a sudden everybody wanted to take pictures with me, and that's when I thought to myself, that's interesting. I should see what comes of this.
Okay, so when you did that, all right, you took a lot of pictures. When was your first time in Chiefs Stadium in Arrowhead with look?
Yeah, that would have been 2019 because I really didn't start doing even social media until after COVID or during COVID. But I went, somebody called me. I was down in Wichita. My wife and I were down there for work, and they said, hey, there's an Ady Reid lookalike contest up at training camp. And so I said, let's go. So I hopped in the truck. We drove the 3 hours home from Wichita. I grabbed my clothes, drove an hour up to training camp, and entered the competition and won. And was named by Mitch Holtis, who calls the radio here for the Chiefs as the lookalike for Ady Reid. And that's really when it all started. And guess what I won? Tickets to a game. And so I went as coach. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. Literally just a contest that you heard and you just went and joined it. First of all, a Halloween party. Then you enter a contest. And then basically next thing you know, you're on the front row of Chiefs games, you know, and people are like, why is Ady Reid in the stands?
Yeah, right. It's been a wild trip. And you know, I transitioned to be a Chiefs fan pretty early in my life. And so you can't find a picture of me when I'm younger, teenager or something without some type of Chiefs sweatshirt or Chiefs gear on. So when I get into a team, man, I get into it all the way, 100%. And so to take my fandom up another level, it's just been the coolest thing ever.
Man, so you've been a part of the inner circles at the draft and everything like that. How fun is that, man? When because I hadn't been in quite in the inner circle, but I know a lot of guys that go in there. Of course, Super Cowboy, Sneaky, yourself, Philly Sports Guy, True Blue. You know, all these guys, man, that are dedicated super fans.
Yeah,
Man,
sure.
how awesome is it to be down there in that inner circle doing the draft?
Oh man, that was the coolest moment of my football fanship life. I mean, just to be here in Kansas City, and you had a couple 100,000 people down there, and man, the weather was great, and
Right.
everybody was just pumped up, and just when they call people super fans, hey, I got to tell you, most people are super people as well. They're positive, they're encouraging, and they love that you're a super fan of your team as well. No animosity, even with Raiders fans when I went to go over and say hi to them. So it was a great time. I just had a fabulous time.
And I was at the draft in Kansas City, and I can say this, man. One thing about Chiefs fans, they are going to represent. It was like a sea of red. Okay, it's like how some people, when y'all come to Denver or y'all go to Las Vegas, you know how the Chiefs take over the stadium, right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Okay. I was in Kansas City, and normally at drafts, it's really not a takeover because you see different fans, all the different colors.
Yeah.
But when we were at the park in Kansas City, all I saw was red, and I was just like. And it was the friendliest people I ever met in my life. It was this one lady. We were just walking. We were downtown. Coach stopped us and say, "How are you enjoying Kansas City?" And I was looking. I was like, "Okay." And it wasn't the first or the last time. So are the folks in Missouri and Kansas City, are they all like that? It just that welcoming vibe there.
Absolutely. In fact, when I go to games, I like to go and meet the visiting team fans and welcome them, and and take pictures with them while they're still smiling, that kind of stuff. So
I like that little jab, Coach. You're like, yeah, while they still smiling, because they ain't gonna be smiling at the end of the game.
That's right.
Coach, I want to. You brought this up, and I want to know about this. You said you were once a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Right.
I want to hear this, Coach. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Man, I'll tell you what. That was back in the day when you had Con Landry as a coach. And I mean, he'd come out there. He was probably one of the last coaches that would wear a suit out there on the sidelines. And man, you had Drew Pierce and you had Roger Staubach. He was running a 2-quarterback system at that time. Tony Dorsett was my favorite running back of all time. And I won't, I wouldn't. I'd be amiss if I didn't say that the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders probably had something to do with that. But I was kind of a dual fan because I'd already liked Kansas City. I go to McDonald's a lot, believe it or not. And they had these back in the day in the early 70s, I think it's around 71, these Super Bowl pamphlets that they put out every year. They put 3 or 4 teams in there. The first one that I got, I saw 2 years with the Kansas City Chiefs in there. And man, I'll tell you what, I liked the Chiefs then. And and then, I don't know what it was. I think it's because I lived in Pennsylvania and all of my family were either Browns fans or Pittsburgh fans. I just had to be the odd guy. And, I chose the Dallas Cowboys. And man, I did not like the Pittsburgh Steelers growing up. Yeah, I did not like them.
Well, hey, ditto, Coach. I didn't like them either. Okay, but believe me, it was a lot of heartache when we played them.
Oh my gosh, the greatest games and some of the greatest games ever were the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys, or even the Washington. Well, yeah, the Commander. I almost said it.
I still catch myself saying the Skins, Coach. I do.
Then, it was them, and so the best rivalries in the NFL were against the Dallas Cowboys. Come on, those were great games.
Exactly. I see. I'm so happy I'm talking to somebody my age, that could remember this, because when you
Yeah.
talk to the younger fans, I was like, man, it wasn't the rivalry wasn't the Eagles. The rivalry was the Commanders.
Yeah.
That was the rivalry.
Yeah.
It was a big deal when we were kids,
Oh, it
and
was. Yeah.
it was
I love
amazing.
too tall Ed Jones, man. That, the ex-football player that went and became a boxer.
Yep, he did. He
Yeah.
did become a boxer, and people don't remember that, But
Yeah.
my all-time favorite cowboy is Harvey Martin. I was the biggest Harvey Martin kid back here in Texas. When I was in Texas, he had a commercial, a Orange Crush commercial.
Yeah.
So only pop I drank was Orange Crush because
God.
Harvey Martin drank it.
Yeah.
When you're kids, you influence very quickly.
Yeah.
So
I loved Orange Crush growing up. It was always in my grandparents' garage, those glass bottles. But then when the Denver Broncos took it over for a Super Bowl, they started calling them the Orange Crush. That left a bad taste in my mouth every time I look at one now.
Exactly. But Coach, I skipped forward because I'm enjoying this conversation, but I'm gonna go back. Okay.
Yeah.
It says you attended high school in William Chrisman High School. Where is William Chrisman?
Independence, Missouri.
Independence, Missouri.
Yeah.
Did you play any sports in high school?
Oh yeah. I was heavily involved in music, but I was a varsity letterman in football as well.
Okay. What position did you play, Coach?
So I played offense and defense, tackle.
Okay. Tackle on both ends. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I was a one-way player, Coach. I just refused to play defense. I hated defense. I hated it. I'm a big old center. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I played. They switched me to tackle a couple times in high school, and I always ended back up at center.
Yeah.
And I when they first moved me there, Coach, I was like, I don't want to play center. I got to snap the ball. I got to do this, do that. And my offensive line coach came to me. He said, look, we can't get started unless you get us started. He said, think about it. You're the only offensive lineman that can ever touch a ball.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. I was like, you're right. Big offensive lineman, we don't touch the ball. We're not the superstars, but hey, if you play center, you can touch it every play.
Yeah.
So,
man, I always wanted to be the quarterback, man, because I could throw the ball 50, 60 yards, no problem. And I was very accurate, but they just always told me I was too fat to be a quarterback. But in all the school, all the neighborhood football games, I played quarterback.
Right. Yeah. Hey, another super fan in the house, Birdman. How you doing, Birdman? that Eagle super fan out there on the West Coast.
That's right, baby.
So you played ball in high school and everything like that, but you went to college. Okay, where did you go to school at?
UMKC, which is part of the University of Missouri system here in Kansas City.
And you have a degree in music.
Yeah.
In music, Coach.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard you, we've had conversations before where you said that you were singing at church, at choir and things like that. So is music, is that your passion, Coach?
Oh, yeah. If I could do Chiefs and music 100% of the time, I'd be the happiest person in the world. But music don't pay the bills, my baby.
So Coach, do you play instruments or are you just a singer?
No, I'm a professional opera singer.
Professional opera singer. That is your career.
Yeah. Well, that's my side career.
Your side career. Okay.
Yeah, that pays for the degree, the cost of the degree. But yeah, I've got 2 contracts coming up for this coming season with a professional opera company.
What was the name of the company?
It's the Lyric Opera of Kansas City.
Is that why you're going to be in Denver in 2 weeks?
No, I'll be playing in a celebrity golf tournament with Neil Smith and a bunch of Denver Broncos. They're bringing me in for fun.
Oh, okay. So a professional opera singer.
Yeah.
Now my wife teases me, Coach, because when I'm a little stressed out, sometimes especially when we were back in Texas, we had a jacuzzi tub. So I would fill it up with water and I would turn on opera music and lie down on the floor.
There you go.
And she say, "Why do you do it?" I say, "Honey, it's something about it. It's soothing to me."
Yeah.
Now, Coach is a professional opera singer. See, this is why we do conversation with Chris. Okay,
That's right, baby.
to find out nuggets like this. You are a professional, not an amateur.
No,
I mean, you've been paid for this, and you've been doing this quite a long
paid
time.
for it.
So, Coach, how long have you been a professional opera singer?
Oh gosh, well, I was an amateur for a long time, and I've done over 30 leading roles in operas. But I started getting paid on a regular about 2010.
Okay,
Yeah.
2010.
But I had been singing opera since about 1988.
Since '88. So,
Yeah.
so what led you to opera?
Well, believe it or not, I went into college and I wanted to be a professional contemporary Christian artist because, man, I loved all the singers back then. Larnell Harris was one of my favorite singers of all time. He sang with the Gaither Vocal Band. And, man, I'll tell you, I get there to college and the opera director there, he's like, you got too good a voice to be singing contemporary Christian art. And I said, okay. He goes, you need to be singing opera. He's from Tennessee and he's got the hit of the, I don't know, but so he talked me into it. I didn't know anything about opera. Man, all I knew was Bugs Bunny and, kill the web, kill the web, and then, so that started my pathway there. But I had a lot of catching up to do with all those people who were there at the University for Opera. I had to fake a lot. They'd ask me, hey, what do you think about such and such? Oh, yeah, that's my favorite singer of all time, or something. So I had to really learn a lot to be able to sing opera and to be able to understand what I'm doing, because I sing in Italian, French, German, you name it. I've sung in the language, Chinese, Korean. Yeah.
That was going to be my next question to you, Coach. So do you speak Italian? Did you have to learn Italian and French to?
Well, let's just say I eat Italian a lot better than I speak it. You put a plate of spaghetti in front of this guy.
You could sing it though. So would somebody have to sing the song to you, or they would give you the lyric? Okay.
No, my next opera coming up, I've got to memorize 300 pages of Italian.
Wow.
So that's
how do you do it, Coach, without speaking Italian? How do you do it?
So at first, I would learn it by rote, and I'd listen to other singers sing, and then I'd start memorizing the syllables. Well, that's really hard to do, to memorize the syllables. And so what you have to do is I have to go through and translate everything that I'm going to sing, so that inside of my head I know what I'm talking about or singing about when I'm out there on stage.
Okay. Wow. So, hey, Coach, now do you have any of this on YouTube, on tape?
Oh yeah, I've got it. In fact, I've got it pinned on my TikTok right there on the first video. I think that's actually me singing.
Wow. Okay. See, I got to go back and I got to go watch it. So I'm excited about this. Now, like I said, I knew music was your passion and everything like that because of the conversation we had. So does the wife or the kids, do they sing also?
Oh yeah, my son, my daughter, they're both musicians. Of course, my wife's a musician. She's an incredible flautist, and my daughter's an incredible flautist. In fact, she went to state her senior year and was on one out of 3 flutes that got a 1 in the state music competition. And my son in his junior year, I mean, he does everything. He's the most talented musician I've ever come across, and he's so dedicated to what he does. But man, he's really, really good. Not just singing. He plays guitar. He plays piano. He plays anything, percussion instrument you want to think of. Yeah.
So, man, music fills your household, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, often. In fact, I've got on my YouTube channel, my family, we did some singing during COVID, and some of those videos are there on YouTube. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome, man. Because Coach, I can't carry a tune. I'm sorry. People automatically assume I was hanging out with a couple friends and they're pastors, right?
Yeah.
So there was some people come up and they knew that my friends were pastors and they automatically assumed And I said, no, I'm not a pastor. We just been friends since we were kids, everything like that. And they were like, do you have that voice, that pastor voice? Are you singing in the choir? I said, man, my mom could sing, my dad could sing, my sister is awesome, could sing, and I can't carry a tune, coach. And I said, I was left out, and I'm a little upset about it.
I'll tell you what, I could get you singing.
Well, coach, I need it, man. After
Because
25 years, I got
this. This is a muscle. This is musculature in here. It's in here. And so what you have to do is, and I've taken people that can't sing a note. And what I do is I find on a piano, and you should probably try this one time, find the note that matches your speaking voice. And you can sing that note correctly every single time. I guarantee it. And then what you do is you start working half steps. And boy, I've taken some singers, and now they're singing in churches. And I'm telling you what, these were the people that people would hold their ears when they were standing next to them. It's all about, it's just like an athlete, man. I mean, if they didn't work so hard on their profession, I mean, they'd be selling insurance.
Wow. So it's more of an art to it. It's not talent basic. Well, talent helps.
Yeah, talent really helps. Yeah.
Yeah, but when it's an art to it, you can really go a little further, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, that's awesome. A degree in music, and you actually do it. Most people get a degree and they don't do anything in their degree.
Yeah.
So at least you can say, hey, at least I'm doing what my parents paid for. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm scrolling through TikTok, I'll come across somebody singing, and I just can't resist. I'll try and give a tip to help them out, and then somebody, what do you know about singing? And I don't respond. I like quite a bit, actually.
Right. Because I want to transition to the Chiefs a little bit. Now, when we met a couple years ago, when we had that wonderful barbecue in Irving, I asked you, have you met the real Ady Reid? Now, that was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Have you met him since then?
Oh, yeah. I'm his official stand-in and sit-in for commercials now. So the State Farm commercials that he does, I did all those for him the last time with Pat and Jake, and then I've got some more coming up this summer. And I did a Snickers commercial with him. I'm actually in the commercial where when the guy that walks off the field, that's not coach, that's me. So yeah, he's pretty fun. In fact, the first thing he asked me when we first met, he goes, "Are you going to sing for us?" So that is somebody that studies everybody that's around them.
Wow,
he knew that about me.
Wow, so did you sing for him?
No, I was too scared. I didn't know what to do. I was just like, "Yes, sir."
Wait a minute, coach, you sing in front of audiences, but you couldn't sing in front of Ady Reid himself?
No way, man. I was afraid to do anything. I was like, man, I want to do this forever. So just keep my mouth shut.
Man, hey, Andy, now don't tell anybody this, okay? Please don't tell anybody this. I actually respected him when he was the Eagles. I was so happy they fired him, coach. I was so happy. I was so happy because I saw it coming, right? Of course, Eagle fans are impatient. They don't have any patience, right? But I was like, why would you fire Ady Reid? He's your best coach since Vermeil. Why would you fire him? Crazy. And as soon as he went to Kansas City, it started clicking. It started clicking. And I was just like, okay, thank you, Philadelphia, for firing him, because I'd rather for the Chiefs had those Super Bowls than the damn Eagles will have those Super Bowls.
Yeah, oh no. Once he got Alex Smith here in Kansas City, I mean, he just showed us what he can do with a quarterback that was sitting on the bench there in San Francisco. So that was a great move and just started the whole Ady Reid era here in Kansas City.
Right. So Andy seems like a super sweet guy. Is he, coach? Is he one of those genuine guys?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but I'm going to tell you, man, at the end of commercial shoots, I mean, he's so nice to people. He'll go up, shake everybody's hand and tell them he appreciates it, whether they're, holding the boom mic or operating the camera. He really is a genuinely good, nice person.
Man, that's awesome. Now, I tease a few Chiefs fans, when we're talking and talking trash to each other, which I don't know why we do. I was like, we never play each other, and when we do, lately the Chiefs got us the last couple times. I said, I don't know why Chiefs fans don't like Cowboy fans, and then I said, aha. I said, because you're the Dallas Texans and you're still bitter about this. So my buddy, real cool dad out in the Las Vegas, he's a big Chiefs fan, right?
Yeah.
And I always tell him, I said, man, how about them Texans? And he gets mad at me, coach. I was like, it's your history, brother. Why are you running from your history? Yeah. I'm like, your owners still live in Dallas. They don't even live in Kansas City.
Yeah, right.
So does that bother you, coach, that somebody will call y'all the Dallas Texans or anything like that? Does that bother you at all?
Not at all. In fact, we've worn those original throwback uniforms and helmets in the past. Doesn't bother me at all. That's part of our history. That's who we are. The only thing that does bother me is we've been having some stadium issues here in Kansas City. And there's some people down there in Dallas that actually think that they'd move the team. How many teams do you guys need in Texas? Come on, man.
Bro.
Give me a break.
I would hate it, not just because that the Chiefs would come to Dallas. That's not the part I would hate. I would hate it for the people in Missouri, okay? Yeah. Because they love the Chiefs so much, right? I think it would devastate them. Yeah. If they ever left. It didn't devastate LA when the Rams left. Yeah. It didn't devastate, well, maybe it did devastate St. Louis when the Cardinals left. But they got the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay. I know it devastated Cleveland when they lost. Okay. And when they lost the Browns.
Yeah.
I think it would destroy the city if the Chiefs would ever leave Kansas City.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it'd ever happen. Yeah, it's a very touchy thing here in Kansas City because Kansas is trying to come behind the scenes there and kind of pull them over to the Kansas side, which everybody assumes since they're Kansas City, they're in Kansas, but no, they're Missouri.
Missouri. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, they're Missouri. I've been to both stadiums. I've been in Kauffman Stadium, the baseball stadium. I have not been in Arrowhead. And I thought I had tickets for the last time we played up there. Yeah. And I'm glad I didn't because we lost. Patrick had the little comeback, and I was a little emotional about this. But hey, I'm one of those. I'm a Patrick lover because I'm such a hometown guy. I love our Texas kids. I said, a Texas kid go up there, win Super Bowl. Their owners are from Texas. They used to be from Texas. So if I had a secondary team, it would be the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, you already know who my secondary team would be.
Yeah. It would just because, hey, they're from Dallas,
still got
man.
The cheerleaders, don't they?
They still do, coach. They still do. Hey, but and have you met the Hunt family?
I have not.
Really?
I'd love to, but I am all about meeting people organically. So I never want to force anything to happen. So one of these days, I'm sure that we'll have an opportunity to meet and have a good laugh. But no, I haven't met them.
Wow, I figured that would be, a easy meet because you're always at the game, number one, and then you're always on TV.
Yeah, but I'm always surrounded by people taking pictures, so I never get to do anything.
Yeah, that's true too. So, Coach,
it's always funny when somebody comes up, just one more. Yeah, right.
Exactly. I've been with True Blue before when he was taking pictures. I've been around Jamie when he was taking pictures. Even my buddy Armando 21. Armando is not quite that super fan. He's on that next level. But wherever we go, because people recognize him from his TikTok pages and everything, and we get stopped all the time. I remember we were in Las Vegas. We were literally walking down the strip, and the dude hung out the window. Armando 21 from TikTok. He was screaming. We just busted out laughing.
That's great.
I said, Armando, you're famous, bro.
Yeah.
You're famous.
And they have to give me security when I go to the stadium now.
Really?
Oh yeah. In fact, when I'm in my seats, they always have security standing at my row, because it can cause so much of a congestion because of people coming down thinking that you have no idea how many people in Kansas City actually think while I'm standing in the stands that I'm really Ady Reid. It happens. I mean, they get to drinking out in the parking lot and they get in it. But so, they've had to escort me out of the stadium because I can't leave because I'm so surrounded by people. It's just great. And the security staff there at Arrowhead, just a great group of people. We're friendly and it's great.
Man, that's when your gimmick works, when people can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
I had a comment earlier in the show. My man, he said, I thought he was the real Andy. So, Coach, that's just a compliment to you. You know, I guess just being a lookalike of somebody. I mean, literally, you're a lookalike. You know, because I remember when Sneaky called me that day, we had dinner. Sneaky was like, "Hey, Chris, hey man, I'm having dinner with Almost Andy." And I was like, "Who is Almost Andy?" I'm like, I knew you, Coach, but I didn't know that's what you went by, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, who is Almost Andy? He said, the Chiefs super fan. I said, oh, the Ady Reid lookalike. I said, I am on the way. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to meet you, bro. I was just like, I said, I had to meet you. I was
that was some good barbecue too. That was great.
Man, we're gonna talk about barbecue a little later on in this, okay, Coach? Because hey, two cities that's known for barbecue, two states, Missouri and Texas. I don't count that Tennessee crap and that South Carolina. It's crap. That ain't barbecue. Anyway, I hope ain't nobody watching from Tennessee or South Carolina. I don't want them to be upset with me, but. Hey, I'm from Texas. I'm from the South, and Coach is from Missouri, where the cattle drive ended. Learn your history.
We're the gateway to the West. The Oregon, the California, and the Santa Fe Trail came right through Kansas City.
Exactly. So, Coach, I know I text you. I said I asked you a few questions, and I said your all-time favorite Kansas City Chiefs. And you said it was Derek Thomas. And Coach, you're not the first, the last Chiefs fan I've met and I've asked that question to. Was Derek that beloved in Missouri?
Oh my gosh. He was an incredible. He was one of those athletes that were larger than life. I mean, he loved the city. He helped the students here in Kansas City become special people. He had great organization, and those I still call the '90s kind of the glory years of the Chiefs, because let me tell you, that's when the tickets were affordable and we could all go out there. And I guarantee you, we owned the loudest outdoor stadium, but in the '90s it was even louder than because hey man. That was some special times. And Derek Thomas, the love he had, and Neil Smith there on the other side, man, they were just a dynamic duo. And I mean, he had 7 sacks on Dave Craig during that game.
I remember that.
And I mean, when he passed away, I wrote a special song for him. In fact, it's on SoundCloud. You can look it up. Almost Ady Reid on SoundCloud, called DT58. And they actually laid his casket there on in the end zone at Arrowhead Stadium, and there were just thousands and thousands and thousands of fans that came in. It was emotional for us. I mean, I shed tears. That was really tough for us to lose Derek Thomas, because he was beloved so much here in Kansas City.
Wow. Hey, I know I was hurt, Coach, because as an NFL fan, and the things he did on the field is just, undisputable.
Yeah.
I mean, he was one of the greatest of all times at his position.
Yeah.
He changed games. When you have a player on your team that changes games, just like Larry Allen just passed away for the Cowboys.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was, Coach, when I heard the news at first, whenever you hear somebody pass away, you already think it's not true because of social media these days, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And Coach, I'm 55 years old. You're 56 years old. Larry Allen was 52 years old. Okay, and you think about your mortality first. You're like, Jesus, this guy was younger than me. He was the biggest, strongest guy in the world, and he's gone just like that. And I on my podcast on Tuesdays, we were talking about Larry, and I said, I described it. I said, so as a Cowboy fan, it's kind of like when the Lakers, when Kobe passed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. For Cowboy fans, it was like our Kobe had passed, because to me, I would go on arguments with anybody that Larry Allen was the best offensive lineman in the history of football.
Oh yeah.
So if he was the best all times, it hurt. So I can imagine when Derek in Kansas City, how the city felt, because he was.
This is why football is the greatest sport ever in the history of the world, because these are the gladiators. I mean, you think back in the Roman era, and I mean, the gladiators, they were worshipped, they were loved. I mean, these are the guys that are out there putting their bodies and their life on the line every single game. And we just fall in love with them because they let all their passion go out there on the field. And man, I'll tell you what, the other professional sports, you don't find people that are endearing, unless you're like a Michael Jordan or a LeBron James or something like that, but when it comes to football, I mean, people remember the players from the past. They remember the plays. They remember what happened. I mean, I remember when Mark McGuire hit 70 home runs, but man, I'll tell you, I got a ton of memories about Derek Thomas when he got the 7 sacks, or his Monday Night Football fiasco, or all the different things that he's done here in Kansas City. They just stick in your brain because we're so connected to this NFL game. It's a beautiful thing.
Right. Jesus, man, I tell you, man, oh my God, he will be missed. He's been gone a while, but you still think he's here. You're just like, oh my God, I wish he was still here. All right, Coach. Hey, we're coming close to the end of my interview about you, brother. I do want to bring this up. All right. I've been to Kansas City a couple times. Let me see, about 4 times now. Yeah. And I had barbecue in Kansas City. The first couple places, I won't mention their names. I was just like, I don't see the hype. But when I went to Joe's, went to Oklahoma Joe's, and I got there. This was not it wasn't football season, so the lines wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
So I got there, and we were waiting in line and everything, and there was a guy there. One of the chefs was there. We was in line. I had on the Cowboy shirt, and he said, "Oh, you from Texas?" I was like, "Yeah, man. I've been hearing about this place. I want to check it out. I love barbecue. I want to know about it." He said, "Man, I got a sample here, man. I'll give you a sample of rib." Ate the rib. So okay, Coach, why I ordered a rack of ribs? Ordered a rack, right? Yeah. I ordered a rack just from the sample. I never order racks of ribs. I'll get a sampler of everything. But Joe's, to me, was my favorite. Yeah. Do you have a favorite in Kansas City?
I've got a lot of favorites because every place does their specialty meat. And so I really do. I mean, Arthur Bryant's all around is my favorite because it's where the locals eat. And I like to eat where the locals go. I don't like, going to places. Joe's is not particularly my favorite, when it comes to barbecue. No. So I got Arthur Bryant's. I've got Wolfpack Barbecue, which is a kind of a hidden little gem here. We've got Slaps Barbecue. We've got just so many different little LCs. LCs is another one. Those are the places you got to figure out where they're at and when they're open. And man, those places, when they run out of meat, they're sold out. I mean, those are the kind of places I like to eat myself. But hey, man, I'm telling you what. Wasn't that in Richardson, Texas, that we ate that little barbecue place there or something?
Yeah, the name of it. Oh, it slips my mind.
Yeah,
oh my
man,
God.
I'm telling you, that's the first time that I ate a Texas barbecue where I said to myself, all right, that's pretty good stuff there. The thing I like about Texas barbecue is the ring around the meat. I mean, it's all about the
smoke ring. Yeah,
the smoke ring there on your meat, where we're more about sauces here in Kansas City. And you know, like Joe's is ribs. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The Z-Man and ribs. And Arthur Bryant's all about the burn ends. Gates Barbecue. Hey, man, meat on bun, man. That's what it's all about. Those big steak fries. You know, so I mean, I can just go down the list and take you to places that would make your mouth water all the time thinking about them.
Yeah, it's a couple of places in Fort Worth that I like, but I would never tell you to go there. and I don't mean not to go there for the food. I mean just because of the atmosphere. You know, normally, you know, the places in Texas that actually have the greatest barbecue is not in the greatest communities or the surroundings aren't the greatest. I remember going to a place we love in Fort Worth, and my wife loved the ribs. And she had never been there. And I said, okay, babe, you can go with me. I said, but when we got there, I said, you can't get out. She said, huh? I said, you can't get out. I said, as soon as I get out of the car, you need to lock the door. And she said, huh? I said, lock the door. I said, if somebody come up to the car, look forward and don't say a word. And she said, are you serious? I said, I am dead serious. Okay. But it's just because, you know, hanger-ons, you know how that goes, Coach. But yeah,
those
but
are the places I love. That's the place I want to go. I like going in where the floor is so slick from the grease that you got to, you know, grab onto something when you walk through the door. That's where I want to eat.
Exactly. And that's this place. They got a jukebox in the corner, Coach, and they got a bar probably 2 feet wide. So you can imagine, okay, it's that type of place. But the pit master there is truly a master. Yeah. And you have to call in your order, Coach, say about noon, and it won't be ready until about 8 o'clock that night. That's this place. You can't walk in and try to get some barbecue because he won't sell it to you. Yeah. You got to call it in, and if he has some left over because people didn't show up, he'll sell that. But I was just like, man, that place is awesome. But you know, hey, because we can talk about barbecue all day.
Man, you're making me hungry. I gotta go get some after this interview.
All right. Well, Coach, I always end the show with about 20 questions. Okay, they're either or questions. Okay. Right. Some of those you saw in the pre-show montage where Jay Tuck was answering some questions. So basically, I asked you about 20 questions, Coach. You pick her answer, and then we'll go from there. Okay, brother?
Hey, sounds good. Let's go for it.
All right, Coach. All right, Coach. The first question: 1st and 10 or 4th and inches?
Oh, 4th and inches, baby. Put me in the line. I'm breaking through every time.
See, Coach, I love you. I always said that too. Everybody always said 1st and 10. I was like, no, 4th and inches. That's where grown men are made.
300-pound lineman back there like Refrigerator Perry when they're 4th and short or 3rd and short, and letting them just break through, man.
Exactly. The next one, Coach. Guys. Hey, man, they discriminate against this, Coach. I don't know why. They do. Coach, all right, my second question, man-to-man or zone?
Oh, man-to-man every time.
Run or pass?
Pass.
Offense or defense?
I'm going with the offense.
Cheer for or be cheered?
That's a tough one. Cheer for.
Okay. 17-0 or championship?
Championship.
Ring or Hall of Fame?
Ring.
Play the game or coach the game?
Play it, baby.
Mountains or beach?
Beach.
Truck or car?
Truck.
Grass or turf?
Oh, definitely grass.
Indoors or outdoors?
Oh, man, outdoors all day long.
TV or movie?
Movie.
Baseball or basketball?
Ooh, baseball. That's easy.
Beef or chicken?
Chicken.
Tecmo Bowl or Madden?
Ooh, I'm going Madden, baby.
Okay. Jordan or LeBron?
Wait a minute, that's a real question. MJ,
Yep.
baby, all day long.
All day. Thank you, coach. All right. Trent Green or Alex Smith?
Oh, I'm taking Trent.
You taking Trent?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next question, coach. Lynn Dawson or Andy Reid?
Oh, well, I got to take Big Red, baby.
You got to take Big Red, huh?
That's
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Jamal Charles or Priest Holmes?
Oh, that was, I hate to say it, but it's Priest Holmes. Yeah.
Me too. I love the Priest Holmes. I love him.
Yeah.
He changed y'all offense. He changed y'all offense, bro. He did.
He did.
And the last one, coach. Arthur Bryant's or Gates?
Arthur Bryant's, baby, all day, all night, and give me some in the morning, too.
Awesome, coach. Awesome, coach. Hey, coach, do you got any final thoughts before we get out of here, coach?
Hey, man, I'll tell you what. I love what you guys do. I love the passion of Cowboys Nation, right? Cowboys Nation. Yeah, man,
America's team.
Yeah, you guys.
Hey, y'all got the kingdom. We y'all got the kingdom. We got America. Okay.
Okay, that's right. You're America's team, and you got the best looking cheerleaders in all of football.
Hey, coach, tell them where they can find you on your social media.
So you can find me anywhere, almost Ady Reid, but you can also book me on Cameo.com, almost Ady Reid. I'm one of the top talents on there, whether it be Father's Day, whether it be Fantasy Football League. Hey, you want Big Red to pick your lineup there? Hey, I'll be glad to do it.
Man, this is great. Coach, man, we appreciate you joining us on Conversation with Chris. Hey, man, hey, when you get to Denver, Coach, you got my number. Call me, okay? We go have some lunch or dinner, okay?
All right, we'll call Sneaky G on the phone and say, guess what we're doing?
Hey, Coach, I got this Italian restaurant I want to take you to, okay?
Oh, okay.
Right. You're gonna love this. It's in a neighborhood in Denver. Hey, You're gonna love this place, okay? So
I've been trying to get into the cliff diving place, but you got to have a reservation 6 months in advance.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, but hey, no, we I got a restaurant I want to send you to, and I've been investigating Denver barbecue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know yet, Coach, so I can't recommend anybody yet. Okay, so we'll figure out something, but we're going to the Italian restaurant. Okay,
all right, sounds great.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us on Conversation with Chris. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Right. How about those Chiefs?
Coach, that was awesome, Coach. Thank you so much, man. Thank you,
baby.
Thank you. Hey, I always chop up videos of the show.
Yeah.
I will tag your TikTok page. Anything that you need. If you need any videos of the show, let me know, Coach. I'll send it to you. Okay.
Okay, sounds great, man. Thanks a lot. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, just give me a holler when you get to Denver. Okay.
Okay. All right. Take care.
All right. Later, brother. Bye.
Bye-bye.